270. Not quite the kick of the 300, so
do it. Oh well. Good shot.
Good shot.
Beautiful.
There, that other one.
This is the outback, a land of red dust, scorched and unyielding, where the sun and wind show no mercy. Its ecosystem has endured for millions of years, fragile yet perfectly balanced. But amid the thorny shrubs and endless sands, an invader has risen, the feral camel. They were brought here in the 19th century, when humans still relied on their endurance to conquer the continent. Then machines arrived. The camels were abandoned, and they multiplied without limit. Now, over 1 million camels roam this land, and that number keeps growing. They drain water holes, destroy tanks, trample native vegetation, and leave livestock struggling to survive. They are not evil. They're simply trying to stay alive. But their survival threatens the very existence of the outback. To protect this land, humans must intervene. This isn't hunting. This is control. A difficult mission, where the line between preservation and destruction blurs under the blinding desert sun. You're watching Famigo Farm, where we strive to keep the balance between people and nature. Subscribe to our channel and join us on this journey. Now, follow us into the field, where every decision is tested by the land and the weather. This is the wilderness, a vast, blazing space where people must forever bow to the primal forces of nature. The openness is such that even when hidden inside the vehicle's cabin, solitude is unavoidable. Our mission plays out along old tracks, where the trails left by migrating herds carry clear warnings of the destruction underway. Hours pass in an almost absolute silence, eyes glued to the horizon, trying to pierce the shimmering air bent by fierce heat. Fatigue is always lurking, ready to turn into complacency at any moment. Then, the silence breaks. A target appears. It could be an entire herd of feral camels, or simply a large male resting in the scant shade of a shrub. No sound, no warning. The team stops the vehicle. Weariness evaporates, replaced by intense alertness. They must stalk, closing the distance from a few hundred meters to the ideal range. Each step is calculated. This is no place for mistakes. The ultimate aim is a quick, humane shot that ends life immediately. With an animal this large and resilient, shot placement matters far more than sheer firepower. Opportunity comes only for a moment. Instantly, a shot cracks the absolute silence of the wilderness. Control has been carried out, but the work is never finished. Managing this land is not a one-off victory, but a long campaign, repeated again and again across the endless expanse of the outback.
this is a bull camel. He's not as big as some we've got, but it's the first one I shot with my 340.
To understand why this mission is so necessary, we have to look at the very species putting pressure on this land. Camels are creatures of extraordinary endurance. They were born to survive in some of the harshest places on Earth. They can travel dozens of miles without water, and when they finally find it, they can drink up to 150 liters in a single go. Elsewhere, that would be a marvel of nature. But here, in this arid land, it's the problem itself.
I'll talk more about
in a
this
place where water means
episodes.
life, where every water hole must be protected, where every drop counts. The arrival of a herd of camels can throw the entire balance of survival into chaos. When a herd moves in, water holes run dry within hours. Tanks are pushed over. Pipes are torn apart. Everything humans have worked months to preserve can vanish in a single afternoon. Livestock lose their only drinking source. An entire season of ranching wiped out. But water is only part of the story. Camels also feed on native vegetation, slow-growing plants that have taken thousands of years to adapt to this harsh climate. When that vegetation is trampled and stripped bare, the soil itself begins to die. But the most important truth is this: the camels are not to blame. They didn't choose where they were born. They didn't choose to become an invasive species. They're only doing what every living thing must do: seek water, seek food, seek a way to survive. Yet, if humans don't intervene, this ecosystem will lose the fragile balance it has maintained for millions of years. Native species will decline, the soil will turn barren, farms will collapse, and this land, which has endured longer than human history itself, will no longer be able to sustain its own life. We intervene not to destroy life, but to preserve the balance that has existed here for millions of years. And so, every action is planned, not improvised, guided by time and terrain. Camel control operations are usually carried out during the dry season, from late May to October. When the last rains have faded, the sky turns piercingly clear, and the ground begins to crack like sunburnt leather. This is when camels move the most. As valleys dry out, they leave the deep interior and head toward the artificial water sources built by humans to survive. Steel tanks darkened by sunburn, deep bore wells, small storage ponds shielded from the wind by timber and wire mesh. These are the places where humans, livestock, and wildlife are forced to share the same source of life, and where camels can exert the greatest pressure. The work takes place deep inland, tens to hundreds of kilometers from any settlement, where there are no gas stations, no road signs, and no sounds except the wind and the rumble of off-road engines. The landscape here is shaped by spinifex desert, dry grasslands, and endless chains of low dunes. To the untrained eye, everything may look the same, but to those who live here, every rock, every clump of scrub, every faint trail holds meaning. The control team sets up a temporary camp right in the field. A tarp stretched between two vehicles, a few large water containers placed in the shadiest spot possible, a radio for contact with nearby cattle stations, and a small fire to keep warm when the desert night cools suddenly. They begin before sunrise, when the sand still holds the chill of the night, and the herd's footprints remain sharp on the ground. And they usually finish only when dusk falls, when the sun turns the whole horizon copper red, and the wind lifts streaks of sand that drift like smoke. This isn't a task completed in a few hours or even a single day. It can last 3 to 7 days straight, sometimes longer, following the wind's direction, the path of broken shrubs, freshly disturbed soil, and the next likely watering point the herd might visit. Here, the land is the map, tracks are the guide, and time is something no one can afford to waste.
Just wait for me. Again, reload.
He's good
reload,
shot.
Reload.
He's down.
That's it, starting.
He's down.
He's holding there.
The plan is clear. Now it's time to take Theory into the field and begin a day of patrol. Mornings start slowly. The first light spills across low dunes, revealing fresh footprints pressed into the earth. No one speaks much. Here, silence always precedes action. The control team checks their kit. Drinking water, the single most important thing. The radio. Rifles have their barrels wiped clean. The safety catch is tested again and again. Scope cameras are powered on, not to flaunt images, but to record the exact procedure. Proof of why this control is necessary. A short, crisp exchange with no extra words. Follow the old track. Wind from the east. They'll seek shade. That's it. Enough for everyone to understand their place and role. The 4x4s roll over the dry red soil.
Hello, camel.
Dust strips
Hello.
thin behind them, blending into the heat-hazed air. From inside the cab, the horizon seems forever distant. But those who live here know everything that matters hides in the smallest details. When the tracks deepen, the team stops the vehicles and proceeds on foot. The closer they get, the slower they move. Boots sink softly into the sand, almost without sound. They lower their bodies as they approach a shallow valley where a few scrubs cast narrow patches of shade. No one looks at another. All eyes face the same direction. Before leaving camp, every procedure is checked carefully. Safety is non-negotiable. As the team closes on the ambush position, the final loading is done in silence. without an unnecessary sound. Only when the target is clearly identified, the shooting angle steady, the wind favorable, and the surroundings safe, is the safety finally disengaged. Every action follows safety protocol, minimizing risk both to the team and to the animal. A light wind in their favor. They must not let the herd smell people. Hands rise, signaling. One person moves left. One holds the primary firing position. One watches the rear. No words needed.
Yep.
This coordination has been drilled for years. Then, movement. Among the scorched shrubs stands the large silhouette of a guarding male camel. Sand brushes softly beneath its hooves. The group freezes instantly, anchored to the ground. No excitement. No pounding hearts, only absolute focus. This is not a hunt for sport. This is a mission of responsibility. And everyone knows this moment happens only once.
Way up there behind the horizon.
Good.
And in this mission, tools are not just aids. They determine the humanity of every action. Today, we use a Delta Striker 1-110X scope. At 1X, it gives a wide field of view, making it easy to track targets when they move quickly. At 10X, it's clear and steady enough for precise shots at long range. It's a balance of speed and accuracy, essential for controlling an invasive species. Recording system. To document the operation honestly and transparently, we use the TriggerCam 2.1, camera mounted directly on the scope. It provides evidence of the action and a quality control tool, helping the team evaluate shot placement and refine procedures after each operation. Rifles used in the campaign: Bernie Karen Speedline 308 Win, a stable bolt action suited for medium-range shots, offering the steadiness needed in the field and manageable recoil. Wedgetail MPR, multi-purpose rifle, a versatile, rugged rifle built to withstand harsh environments, flexible for shooting from vehicles or from the ground. AIA, 308 Winchester, a popular choice for its stopping power at practical distances. When used with proper technique, the AIA 308 is an effective tool for control purposes. Each piece of equipment is chosen for one simple reason:
after about 20 rounds.
to minimize the animal's suffering by ensuring a precise shot, while allowing the team to work safely and responsibly. All procedures comply with regulations, are recorded on video, and prioritize conservation, not showmanship, not accolades.
Moving. I go for a mag load in these movements.
How'd you like that, man?
That was awesome, yeah. Using the woodleys on your track from camp, left camp about, I don't know, maybe half an hour ago.
They came right into camp.
As the sun sets, the desert
this
falls
camel
silent
sitting
once
down.
more.
I would drive
But
over
that
a bit.
silence is only temporary. The struggle to keep this land in balance will continue tomorrow. Camels are not the enemy. They are simply doing what any living creature must do to survive. But we, too, must do what we must, to protect what remains of this ecosystem. We do not stand against nature. We are part of it, and responsible for preserving it. This land has sustained people for thousands of years. Now, it is our turn to protect it in return. If you believe in the value of responsibility, if you understand that conservation is a long and enduring journey, subscribe to Famigo Farm, share this video, and join us in the stories yet to come.